Peace, y'all. Before we get started, I felt compelled to remind everyone to stay safe and stay abreast of all the atrocities happening around the world. The people of Palestine, Tigray, Congo, Sudan, Haiti, and countless other territories are currently fighting for their rights and their lives. And if you're choosing to take action, please take every precaution you can. Stay hydrated, stay in groups, cover your face, and please, more than anything, don't lose hope. I've been leaving links to organizations and resources at the bottom of every episode description for a good minute, so please go check those out for places to donate and to find ways to take action today. We're not free until all oppressed people in the States and abroad are free. Much love, stay strong, and stay dangerous. What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is New Jersey rapper and co-host of Strangers Live, 89 The Brainchild. We spoke about Deadpool and Wolverine, Elektra, 2000s era Marvel movies, Purple Rain, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, why people don't love musicals anymore, mixtape culture, the similarities between the New York and New Jersey indie music scenes, and the creative process behind his latest project, Night Lives, out now via Fused Arrow Records. Come fuck with us. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Real Notes. Welcome back to Real Notes. My name is Dylan Green, CineMasai. Got a lot of names, do a lot of shit. It's a nice overcast Friday on an early September afternoon. Things are feeling good. I'm full of gluten-free Fruity Pebbles. I'm a little cranked, but we're here. And I'm with somebody who's also he's not off the Fruity Pebbles, but he's off the Fruity Pebbles, if you know what I mean. It's like,
yes,
I don't know, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure running all around the tri-state area with this man for the last fucking 2, 3, maybe even 4 years at this point. Just like watching him grow, watching him pop out and do sets and fucking DJ and just like surprise everyone and just like introduce we're gonna talk about it later, but there's so many different kinds of music that you just pull into everything you do that just makes me it's just like super impressive to me and so much fun and so like cultured. I don't know. 89 The Brainchild's here. Jersey.
Broadway, let's go.
Broadway legend extraordinaire. Fucking Night Lives is out now. He's been teasing this shit for 2 years. Night Lives is finally out now. Shout out to Fused Arrow. Shout out to Dove. Shout out to Strangers. Co-host, producer, rapper, all the things. Apparently Family Matters expert, because he and I have been talking about fucking deep cuts on the show for the last 2 days. But 89, thank you so much for being here.
It's a blessing to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Nah, but like I said, it's been such a long time coming. Every conversation we've had has just been on some other shit. So I knew that as soon as it was time to make something like this happen, that it was, I'm already jazzed and we haven't even started yet. But it's just like I said, it's been beautiful to watch you grow and get to this point where you've got this project out. It's got all these people on it. It sounds beautiful. It's vulnerable. It's sexy. It's fucking frenetic. It's makes you want to fucking ram your head through a wall to drum and bass, cocaine music. I don't know. This shit's great. So.
No, it definitely is that. That's the feeling that we going for with a lot of the tape, man. Because at the end of the day, you find yourself in nightlife kind of wanting to kind of ram your head through some shit, kind of wanting to sit there and get sexy. Sometimes it gets a little political and shit. Sometimes when you get within certain cliques and shit. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there.
Easy. And there's even more to talk about that we're going to get into later. But one thing I wanted to touch on, since we're this is the only project I can think of where we're shouting Free Palestine. We're sampling fucking Saul Williams, inspiring Saul Williams political clips about staying abreast and all this shit. And then we're talking about how Pimp C we're talking about how we let Pimp C down by running trains and shit. There is
Yeah.
literally no other project on planet Earth that has these dichotomies on them, and not in this specific way, you know.
But
So
yeah, nah, shit, like that's all nightlife though, man. Like you go,
yeah,
like it ain't no different than you go from seeing Dream Crusher at Transpicos and then you hop a train or Uber to go to elsewhere and you see like your favorite DJ and you're just getting drunk the rest of the night. And then you go to the after hour spot and then you get into a conversation about like the politics of the quote unquote scene and shit. Like it's like it's all there. Like it's all relative. It's all relevant.
right. Damn. All right. Well, yeah. Like we're gonna hop back into that later. But let me ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here, which
Yes.
is, what was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Movie, like I went to the cinema last film I saw in the theater. I actually saw a Deadpool and Wolverine, and it takes a lot, and it takes a lot for me like to really go to the theaters nowadays. Like Fat Boy has to pull me out sometimes, or like I got to be on like just a rare date. But fucking Wolverine and Deadpool Wolverine, I enjoyed it. Like a lot of like for me, I don't go into like this Marvel shit with my nose up about
Yeah.
oh damn, yo, like I saw fucking Dark Knight, and now like my view of what superheroes need to be has to be like that shit. Like does that
Right.
a long time? Like the humor was there, like a lot of the references. Like I loved when they brought back characters from films that were either canceled, like the Blade shit, Elektra, and all that stuff, and even like films that didn't make it, like the Gambit shit. Like I love that shit, and I loved how they played with that. As much as it annoyed the fuck out of me hearing that nigga accent, Channing Tatum. Yeah, but that shit was ill. I watched like the first 3 episodes of Supercell recently, and I've been enjoying that on Netflix. I gotta watch the last 3. I think it's like only 6 episodes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish that probably like this weekend with my people, because that's something we do after we watch wrestling. Watch a lot of wrestling on TV, and I'm always critical about that. But Supercell's interesting. Like I gotta watch like the last 2 episodes to really like give you a firm like statement on that. But so far so good. And fucking Deadpool Wolverine is an entertaining film. Like if you're someone that has been entrenched in like comic book like cinema, and even like even if you were just a Fox Kids type kid watching goddamn Spider-Man the cartoon, or like the Fantastic Four cartoon, Iron Man that was short-lived in the whole cartoon, like you can appreciate like the humor if you were really like that deep into that entertainment side of it. So yeah.
They don't know about the Iron Man cartoon. That's a
It's a great
real
song. The theme song is
yeah,
hard.
yeah, bro.
I'm Iron Man. Iron Man. With the fucking metal clings. I like the metal clings. I like the sound of like it sounds like iron is being dropped.
Yeah, like
It's like the fucking
yeah.
like the new edition if it isn't love, and you're like the cling cling. Boom,
Yeah.
cling cling. That's the shit that's so good.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I think I talked about it a couple times on here at this point. I like I had fun with Deadpool and Wolverine, you know, like it did, you know, like it's like so much of the movie is just like a person like puts on the hat and says the thing. And
Yeah.
like that's, you know, like that's more or less what I expected, outside of just like hoping that maybe we'd see how Deadpool would fit into the new X-Men shit, or if anything X-Men related was gonna get. Like that's what I was most excited about. But it was just cool to see the two of them do their thing. Like, to be honest, it was my least favorite of the 3 Deadpool movies, but I had a good time watching it in the theater. You know, like you know, like most of the jokes were funny. Like it did what it needed to do, but I didn't leave like super pumped about it like I did the first 2 Deadpool movies. It was just cool to see the things that I liked, and then I was like, okay, I haven't thought about it since, low key, but
I respect it.
you know, but yeah,
Not
I mean,
the
like,
black kid from the last Deadpool movie. The kid, whoever played that kid, I gotta like let me know if there's other films that he's in since then. It's like I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was like a little Aussie boy. He like Australian or some shit.
He was
Yeah.
he was in something recently. I can't remember what it was. I gotta
Send
find
me
it.
a link when you get off here.
Yeah, no, I got you. Damn, I can't even remember his name, but he's like been in other stuff, and he's been pretty. I saw he was in something like this year. It might have been a show or a movie. I don't remember. I just remember seeing his face somewhere. But I don't know. Like I'm also like I've seen. There was a period of time when I saw every MCU movie in the theater when it came out. I stopped
Word.
doing that around. I think I stopped doing that after probably Endgame. Like
Yeah,
because like I still haven't seen the last Ant-Man. I heard it was terrible. I thought Eternals was just okay. I love
I
the
didn't see
last
it.
Guardians movie.
I didn't see the
Eternals
Last
was
Guardians either.
Last Guardians was great. Like
Yeah,
honestly, the crazy thing has been like like I haven't rewatched a bunch of the movies yet, but like the Guardians movies are probably like they might have the best like franchise in the MCU. Like they're 3 for 3. Like
yeah,
all three of those movies are great. Like the first Guardians, like aside from Black Panther and I think Thor Ragnarok,
yeah.
like the first Guardians is my favorite Marvel movie of like MCU Marvel movie.
Okay.
Like that movie's amazing to me still. But yeah, just like it was nice seeing Blade again. It was nice
Yes.
remembering that Elektra was a thing that happened. Elektra
Yeah,
is one of my favorite bad movies to watch because
I'm
Elektra
just
is
happy.
so bad.
I'm happy Jennifer Garner got out of them Capital One commercials. Because there was a point where I thought that was all she did post Ben Affleck. I'm like, don't let that man take your spirit, bitch. Like you go out there and you take your role on the screen. You was Alias, ho. That
Oh
was
my
Alias.
god. Alias was some other shit. Wow.
My mama
The
used to
last
fuck with Alias.
yeah, no, my parents used to fuck with Alias. That's so funny. The last movie I saw her in, she was in this like weird conservative like political thriller movie called Peppermint, like back in like 2018. So like you remember when like all the white people were scared of GS9 and shit?
Yeah.
And yeah, and like the Mexican gangs, like they made a
All
movie
the
where
MS-13s and shit.
yeah, right. It was MS-13, not GS9. My fault.
Like, yeah,
Why did I say
like, oh my God,
why did
don't
I
let
say
that guy
GS?
come back down.
Why did I
Don't let
say
that guy.
GS9?
Yeah.
MS-13.
Bobby
So like,
first said they're making techno music, say like, why he bringing me into this? What am I gonna do with this?
oh, please forgive me, Bobby. Please forgive me. But nah. So like, it was like around like peak MS-13 panic time, and like she was a mom. I think like her kids and husband get murdered, and she just kind of does the white lady thing where she goes out and buys a bunch of guns and teaches herself MMA and just like winds up like running up. He winds up like running up in like churches and on like Santeria cults and shit. Like it's the most like fear mongering Republican action thriller I've seen in a long time. It's terrible. I don't even know why I watched it. I
And
was
how
just
no
that
fury
morbidly
like a white woman scorned.
like you
Jesus
already know what it
Christ.
is. It was like I saw her do that and was like, maybe I don't need her in any more movies. You know, like maybe
Oh
maybe
yeah.
maybe maybe she needs to go take a break for a bit.
Bitch was
But
Betty Crocker and shit turned to the Punisher. That's hilarious.
but it was nice to see her again as Elektra because
Yeah.
that Elektra movie holds a really special place in my heart because it's terrible, but like it was always on like TNT and FX back in the day. So it was like,
Yeah.
you're bored in the middle of the summer and just turn the TV on and it's there. Like I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the hand pop up and have like all the weird villains like the Medusa head lady and
Yeah.
you remember the dude with the tattoos of the animals
Oh,
all over him?
that was my favorite character. Just like this, like in concept alone, like yeah, like that's used to like that was what I used to imagine as a kid and shit. Like I used to want like a fucking dragon tattoo when I was like a little kid. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, this dragon is gonna be like a living, breathing thing on my arm. And it's like to see that come to life as like when I was a kid when that came out, I was like, this is a redeeming quality of this film. One of
Because
the
it was
few.
because it was like that. Like he had like the snakes on him. I think he had like
Yeah,
a wolf
I think I had a
or
bird.
some a bird. Yeah, he definitely had he had
Bird.
like an eagle or something.
Yep.
Um, and man, yeah, nah, that movie's insane. It's the Daredevil movie it spun off from was already bad enough, but Michael Clark Duncan saved that one. Or not, or yeah, Michael Clark
Yeah,
Duncan
Mike
is
Duncan, that's Kingpin.
icon. He
They
was
said, see that light? Well, that's not heaven. That's a tow train or something. She said, like, what train was coming?
I think it might have been the 2 Train. That's
What's up,
so
Two
funny.
Train? I was like, word.
And then and yeah, like I think in both Daredevil and Elektra, like there's a scene, the first fight scene in Daredevil, like Ben Affleck is just dressed up as Daredevil, like beating fucking henchmen down to like nickel. It's a Nickelback song. He's like beating ass to Nickelback. It's fucking crazy.
They
Like
didn't, white people didn't know what truly empowered them yet. Like they were still trying to figure out like what was their quote unquote spirit animal in terms of like how like what drives these white people to do like bad, like what music, because you know like black people, man, if you play some good hip hop and shit, yo, like we sitting there kicking ass with rhythm like Zack the Black Power Ranger and shit. White people ain't had no fucking black power, they ain't had no dancing ass white boy. Chuck Norris wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling it. He was just whooping niggas' asses, just like whatever. Like it was just the sound of his own voice in his fucking head.
Right, Walker Texas Ranger type shit.
Yeah.
But then you have Daredevil.
Like that. That's the act of music in a white man head and shit.
Man. But then you have Jennifer Garner as Elektra, fucking doing like sparring routines to, it was to Evanescence's "Wake Me Up," and that might have been the first time I'd ever heard that song, which is crazy. But like it's just, it's so fake looking. It's glorious. It's awful, but it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I like the lighting in the Daredevil movie. I just wanted to talk about that shit real quick. Like the lighting, that shit, like it was like, it felt like it was a fake set, and like the dark scenes, like the way the shit kind of glistened off them and stuff. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was interesting.
Yeah, I like the scene at the end when you finally realize that he can see through the like he can see when it rains, and just like all of that, when like they're in the room and the sprinklers are going off and Kingpin's on the floor and he's about to like have a heart attack or however he died. I don't remember how he dies, but like like the cinematography was real nice. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Fucking but I still haven't started Supercell yet. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody on here recently. I'm sorry if I forgot. Shout out to whoever it was. But I heard Supercell's cool. It sounds like fun. It sounds like British Heroes, and I liked Heroes a lot. So
Heroes was cool. I was definitely fucking with Heroes like the first couple seasons and shit.
Yeah.
Like as soon as we got past, like as soon as we got out of the Honda campaign season and shit, the Nissan, the Honda Versa or some shit. There was it a Versa that he wanted?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was. I just remember like it was a huge crossover campaign with that car company, but I remember when they brought that shit back, it wasn't that great. Like it wasn't doing it for me. Shouts out to the whole cast of that Hayden Panettiere, man. They were OG.
Yeah, her and Masioka.
Yeah, I fuck with him.
Yeah,
he it was like the brown dude who was like seeing the visions and shit. I fucked with him.
Bro, who was the painter, and who would like, because he was only in the show for the first season, and like he was like at first he could only paint the future when he was on drugs. He was on like he was blasted out on heroin for the first season, and then later, before he dies, he manages to channel it without being on drugs, and then right when he does, he dies. Shout out to Son. I miss him.
Shit, real.
Shit, man. Okay, let's run it back. Let's run it all the way back with you. What's the first movie experience you can remember having? It could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house. First thing that comes.
Man, I always see like a flash because my mom always talks about it too. So, like when the first Ninja Turtles movie came out, and my mom always talks about it to me. Where it's like when that movie came out, we were in the theaters. All the other kids in the theater were like kind of like just wilding out, but I was like one of the few kids that was like sat there and just in a trance watching like these niggas in goddamn turtle suits and shit. And like that's one of like and I remember like just I actually have that on VHS now. Like I got an OG VHS player and shit. And like sometimes like I'll still watch it back and I have like little moments with that, like watching that shit even when I was a kid. I used to have hella Power Ranger tapes. hella Power Ranger episodes like on cassette. So watch a lot of that shit. Fucking my dad used to always fucking used to go to Jersey City to like Newport Mall, and they would have like a stand that had like old martial arts flicks. He used to cop like the old Bruce Lee joints and shit. And that was like a lot of that shit. Me and my dad used to watch a lot of like old Bruce Lee films together. Fucking Bloodsport.
Yeah,
Like,
classic.
like that's one of my favorites as well. Goddamn, I remember watching Sci-Fi Channel back when it was like, spelled correctly, and they used to show like anime before there was an Adult Swim. I used to watch like I remember seeing Techno Man
Wow.
on Sci-Fi. That was like one of the first animes I ever saw that I could recall. I used to watch like fucking, and then later it was like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z when it was on like WB in the morning, like before like Toonami and Cartoon Network really became a thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, like those were some of my earliest. Like there's a lot of like there's a lot of action, like a lot of just fucking motherfuckers kicking and punching and screaming and shit.
But like of all of those, I think the most impressive had to be that Ninja Turtles movie because those costumes were heavy as hell. And
Yeah,
like niggas had to wear them like to the set every day and like
right.
jump up and down and like do martial arts and fucking like I don't know. Like there's something really charming about that movie that I never got to see it in the theater. I wasn't that was like a wee bit before my time. But
Word.
like I like I love it. I love watching it. Like like it's not one of those that I watch like all the time or whenever I get the chance. It's been some years, but I don't know.
Word.
Like there's something like really like super like late 80s, early 90s, like funny, silly, goofy, charming about that movie. That just it's like from like the costume details to like the way that just like the kids look when they're all in the little clubhouse in the sewer and
Mm-hmm.
fucking Sam Rockwell's in that movie.
Yep.
Like like he's just like there and he's a kid. Or isn't he Casey Jones or is he just like some random kid? Is Casey Jones in the first movie?
Hold up. Shit. All right, we back. My bad. Yeah, shoot.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
Rockwell was April O'Neil's like little bro or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
It was like April's brother and shit.
Okay, yeah, because like for some reason I remember Casey Jones being in the movie at some point.
No, yeah,
Either
Casey.
way,
Yo, wait, wasn't Casey? Was he Chris Maloney? Was that nigga from fucking?
he might have been Chris Maloney.
Yo, I put hair on fucking like the nigga from SVU. I'm like, I feel like that's
Let me see real quick. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Casey Jones.
that
He's
nigga. Like,
damn. It's gonna. Oh wait, 1990s
look at the picture of
TMNT
this nigga.
fandom. Yeah, nah, I got it. I got it. He's in the first, third, and fourth movies, but who plays him? Like,
Yeah.
just give me a name. What the fuck?
Speaking
It
of
doesn't matter.
now, yo, speaking of SVU, the fucking the other girl, Baszler, like Detective Baszler, she was
Oh,
supposed to
Stabler. Yeah,
be just Stabler. She was supposed to be the one of like the lead characters in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie initially.
really. Who is she
Yeah,
supposed to be?
she was supposed to be Dulcia, like the chick on the other planet who kind of helped give the Power Rangers like they new suits so they could fight Ivan Ooze.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Man,
Shout
shout out
out,
to her.
shout out. See the SVU Power Rangers, bro. They all heroes. They all heroes.
Yeah, nah, like, but yeah, yeah. I mean, like, they're all heroes, and funny enough, they're all cops, which is kind of wild. But, but the Power
Don't call Power
Rangers.
Rangers propaganda. Jesus Christ.
but the Power Rangers have way less brutality statements than than Benson does, because or no
Absolutely.
because like yo like I went back and rewatched some old SVU for some reason.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was throwing everybody through. He was throwing chairs and tables and strangling
Man,
people in the interrogation room and smashing them up against the glass. Like
it didn't matter if
just
they was guilty or not yet. He was
nah.
wilding.
He
Let's
was
say
he was
he was the prototype for fucking that nigga on Chicago PD.
my son had issues, bro. He was taking it out on everybody who looked at him funny. There was,
Yo, your shit.
it was
Oh man.
yo, that shit is crazy. But so like as you get older and you start having more experiences and start like expanding your palette, can you think of like the first, I like to call it like a capital M movie that you've ever seen, like a movie that really connected with you in like an emotional or artistic or spiritual way, like something that was like more than just like 90 minutes of entertainment or whatever?
Oh man. Earliest, the one of the more recent ones. If we're gonna go, I'm gonna go animated first. Summer
Yeah, let's
Wars.
go.
It's a great. Summer Wars is a great film. Go check that shit out. It's by like the people
Summer
who
is
I
amazing,
think
bro.
like the people who did Digimon. Like they were kind of behind that film as well. And I was a Digimon fan as well. So fuck y'all who don't like Digimon. Uh, check that out though. It dealt with like it deals with grief. It deals with like relationship shit as well, and then not just romantic relationships, but also like just dealing with like estranged family members and stuff like that, and kind of like reconnecting the families. And there's like a cool little like if like there's an action element in there as well. Obviously, it's guys who made Digimon. Before that, fucking like Purple Rain. I watched that shit in like maybe fifth grade. Like my man's had that shit on DVD. And it was like when like DVD players like really like first started becoming like readily available and shit for people. So he was
Yeah.
like nigga Danny was like the first like civilian that I knew that a DVD player. I was like, what the fuck? But the only movie that he knew that he had was like Purple Rain. He's like, yo, like watch this shit, man. Sure, it got titties in it. And I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, you have a movie that has boobies in it? Let's fucking go see this shit. But nigga did not really know how like the skipping scenes didn't really take us directly to titties. So we had to sit there and watch like we had to figure out the whole movie. So we sat there throughout the whole all of Purple Rain to see Apple. But it was like, yo, this dude is going through some shit.
Mm-mm.
Like in a pursuit of trying to like achieve this non-conventional way of life, like just making art and shit. And like he has rivals around him. He has like detractors and shit. He has supporters, and he doesn't know how to really deal with all of this shit. And for me, that was kind of like cool because like I didn't really see like at that age, I didn't really see like celebrities like and their problems like except for like Michael Jackson at that time. Like Michael Jackson at that time was like because like I'm talking about fucking like mid 90s, like early like late 90s and shit where like the real celebrities that had problems that were popping. It was like just fucking Michael Jackson, and you didn't really get to see like the inner, like you didn't really see his perspective on the shit. You know what I mean? Like unless
Yeah.
you did like a Barbara Walters or Oprah interview, and even with that, it was like very sparse. But Purple Rain was like, yo, like let's go into this artist's life and into this artist's head, and it's not all fucking gravy, and like it's not all peaches and cream. And like let's talk about like the dark shit. Like this nigga's dad is fucking like dealing with these problems and also committing other atrocities and all this shit.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
cool
No,
movie.
Purple Rain's heavy as hell, honestly. Like, and it's crazy because of the contrast of just like how colorful and stylized and like campy the whole thing is. Like, I I got to see I was lucky enough to get to go see Prince play at MetLife Stadium back when it was like still Giant Stadium.
Word.
Like, it was when he toured. It was on the musicology tour, and he
Oh
like
shit.
and of course he fucking played Purple Rain, and
Yeah.
just like the fucking emotion behind that song, and just like the way like yeah, no, like he had the guitar that was like the symbol, because like I think that was like the era where he was still using the symbol
Yeah.
like as his name and shit. So like just watching him play that song and watching it just wash over the crowd. It also started raining. I swear to God,
Oh man.
it started raining when that happened. It was like
Right. It's like it's part of the whole experience in the presentation.
yeah, and just like that song really. Because like that, you ever see Under the Cherry Moon, the other Prince movie?
The black and white joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I haven't seen it completely, but I've like watched like different scenes of it. Like I
Some,
gotta.
some
I've been meaning to sit down with the whole thing.
some days I think I prefer Under the Cherry Moon to Purple Rain, but Purple Rain is so iconic that like that like that just says more about the quality of Cherry Moon than it does about Purple Rain
Under
because
the
it's just
Cherry
fucking
Moon
Purple
is
Rain.
Under
Like,
Cherry Moon is dope because it feels like it's a concept. Like it's like a concept album, but it's like a
yeah,
movie and shit. And like all films are concept films, but I think like when you look at like the way Prince was kind of like trying to put together like his art and package his art, like this was what I would consider like, yeah, yo, this is a concept movie and like with a concept soundtrack and shit. So
yeah,
yeah, I could see how like people could sit there and separate that because you see Graffiti Bridge like kind of like carries over from like some of the pieces of goddamn Purple Rain and stuff.
yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, it's not better than Purple Rain, but you can sit there and separate Cherry Moon because it doesn't really like tie directly to like what were the events going on in Minneapolis at that time.
Right. Tell real quick before we move on. Tell people about Graffiti Bridge. You might not know because like that's another deep cut that I feel like a lot of people don't know about. So like, what is? Yeah, just tell people about Graffiti Bridge.
Graffiti Bridge is ill. Like it kind of carries. It's like it's a loose sequel, I guess, to Purple Rain. Like it deals with some of the it's almost like fucking like Tim Burton took the set. Like Tim Burton took over a lot of the set design, it feels like. It felt like Purple Rain is like set in fucking Minneapolis. Like you can see the fucking streets of Minneapolis, while fucking Graffiti Bridge felt like this was like some type of imagination type shit, a little bit more like whimsical and stuff.
Right.
So if you're into that, like there's a darker element. Like you're not gonna see Apollonia in this shit, but you're gonna get the introduction of Tevin Campbell. You're gonna get fucking Mavis Staples is singing on in some of the records and shit. Of course, you're gonna get some new Morris Day records and shit. And this is around when you're getting a little bit more of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's involvement with that because as they weren't as like hands on during the Purple Rain time with Morris Day character. So yeah, you're gonna it's a good piece, but it ain't Purple Rain. But if you're able to kind of like if you're a theater, like if you're a fucking theater kid, you're gonna like you might really enjoy fucking Graffiti Bridge if you're a theater
Wow.
kid. Also, and for me, like I did musical theater a little bit, and I've been
Yeah,
around that
you and
type.
me
So
both.
I could appreciate the shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you and me both, bro. I was there was a period of time I was definitely a theater kid. Like I did a bunch of school musicals and
Word,
fucking like yeah, like I did all of that shit. So
my G.
like like I'm not at a point where I like love musicals the way I used to, but like you like
Yeah,
you'll get me on a good one. I mean, like Purple Rain's great, Under the Cherry Moon's great. I haven't
yes,
seen Graffiti Bridge in years, so it's been a good long minute. I'm man, since we're on the topic of fucking movie musicals, like I just saw I saw the like reviews for the new Joker started rolling in, and
yeah.
like people aren't. I mean, like I didn't like the first one. I have a lot of issues with it that I won't get into right now because that's a whole conversation in and of itself. But like one of the big criticisms is that like the musical numbers aren't good, which I was kind of like, yeah, like which I was like, of course, like the guy who directed The Hangover doesn't know how to make a fucking musical. Like,
Yeah,
I could have told you that shit, but like if you're gonna have somebody in there like Lady Gaga, like just like blowing the doors off of it and like singing and acting the way she does in all the movies and music she makes, like I don't know, it just feels like such a waste. Like, why are we doing this? Like, I know the movie's popular. I know, I
hmm
know, I know, I know Joaquin won the Oscar, but like, who asked for this? Like, I
nobody.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't talk about the movie itself. But just based off of like the early reviews, because I know it's premiering at the Venice Film Festival this weekend. But like
I don't know like what demographic like they're really trying to cater to or who they're trying to appease to. Like I don't sit there and look at like are you trying to like pick up like the lost Glee market? Are you trying like is there like the fucking like the karaoke show? Like what like are you trying to get like those fans? Like this
right,
is like the IP itself should have been enough to sell this up. If you had a good enough fucking movie and people are able to attach the Joker character to it. Like we shouldn't have to sit there and try to like make this some type of super niche project. It was like, yeah, like the stories are there for you, man. Like the stories are laid out. Like the stories exist for you to tell. And now like they're overextending themselves to just let everybody down. Like I think.
And you know what's crazy? You know how I know they don't believe in it? Because they're doing that same thing that all the other modern movie musicals do, and hiding the fact that it's a musical in the trailer. Because like, because like you remember that Mean Girls adaptation that came out at the top of the year. Initially, I thought it was just a straight remake of the original movie. It's a remake of the fucking Broadway musical, and there's no songs in the trailer. Like they're really, because they know most people in this day and age are not jacking musicals. Like they don't want to see that shit for some reason. Yo, my fault. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to shout out the all new Real Notes Patreon page real quick. If you're looking for ways to connect and directly support the podcast, the Real Notes Patreon is the best way to do so. For as little as $5 a month, you can gain early day before access to every forthcoming episode of Real Notes, as well as an invite to the Real Notes Discord server, where you can talk to others about the latest and greatest in movies and music, come through for some listening sessions, and talk about whatever else is on your mind. I know I'm gonna be talking a bunch. If you feel like coming up off a little bit more, you could get cool exclusive content like audio from Real Notes Live and Real Talk interviews. Those will be exclusive to patrons and ticket holders moving forward. Access to retro versions of my 60-second Minute Maid movie reviews, and even a monthly writing and podcasting workshop hosted by me. Regular episodes will still be available on a weekly basis anywhere you get your podcasts, but if you want the extras, you gotta come out them pockets a bit. Check us out at patreon.com/realnotes. That's REELNOTES. I appreciate your consideration and support more than you know. Now let's get back to talking.
If there's a point where like Broadway shows across the board and even off-Broadway shows like nationwide are like selling out, like you can't get tickets for months. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking like freaking like we're like a show like Hamilton have to like, oh, we're gonna revive the show, we're gonna like extend for fucking another couple dates and shit to like feed the fans, because there's such a rabid fan base for it. But it's like, yo, there isn't, man. Like we like, even when it comes to just certain types of music in general and stuff, like there's almost like a overload to where people need like to decompress from some of that shit. And we're in a point where like, yo, all right, we're kind of musicaled out a little bit. And so now anything that comes out that like that isn't already registering in our brains like a franchise and shit, it ain't gonna hit. So people are sitting there trying to attach their musical shits to like franchises like Mean Girls and Joker and shit. But it's like, nah, yo, like people don't want musicals. Like stop trying to make shit musicals, bro. Stop
trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
like this ain't it right now.
Yo, you know what? You know what else is crazy? Nothing's been the same since Jeremy O. Harris made Slave Play. Jeremy O. Harris, you will pay for your crimes. Fuck that shit. But I say all of that to say that I just saw I got an ad on some site for the first musical that I'm like excited to see in I don't even know how many years. And it's an adaptation of, you ever see Death Becomes Her?
I've heard. Oh yeah, yo, yeah, I do know that film.
So they're turning. So
who's in the film?
Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis.
Yeah, got you. Like didn't her head come off, or didn't her head go?
Her head gets swiveled.
Yeah.
And so okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, Death Becomes Her is I think it must have been from like the late 80s or the early 90s. Robert Zemeckis made it. So it's a movie about these two kind of aging actresses who are like, you know, they're just kind of going through the whole like, you know, like I'm a woman getting older. Society's terrible to women who get older. Terrible to women generally, but women who get older specifically. And Meryl Streep's character gets this potion from this magical lady that promises her eternal youth. And it, you know, like she drinks it, she goes back to like how she looked when she was like 25 or 30 or whatever the fuck. But the catch is that she's like, you know, like she's she's dead. You know, like she's not a she's kind of sort of a zombie in the sense that like she's immortal. She's immortal and she's gonna stay like that forever, but like her body's gonna degrade because she's basically just dead. And there's a scene near the end where she gets pushed, or no, it's in the beginning where she gets pushed down the stairs, and
Yep.
like she breaks her neck, and like throughout the rest of the movie, her neck is all on swivel and fucked up, and then Goldie Hawn drinks the potion, and the two of them are just kind of like fighting over the Bruce Willis character. It's the movie's fucking great. It's so much fun. It's really silly and weird and kind of gross, but like, but
Yeah,
they're
let me know
turning
all that translates into a musical.
on like I will I gotta add, and yeah, like they're like turning Death Becomes Her into a musical. I think previews start at the end of October. I kind of want to see that. That sounds like
Word.
fun. You know, like just like the, you know, like I just want to see how they manage the effect of having Meryl Streep with the twisted head and Goldie Hawn with the
Yes.
hole blown, like, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
like
like I'm a fan of practical effects. I think like that's why like all fucking goddamn the Ninja Turtle shit with them having the suits on and shit like
right,
that, like practical effects are definitely something that's a talent. That's a talent to
yeah.
like to make someone appear like unnatural.
Yeah, and you know, and just like that physical aspect of it, like like looking at some shit and being like, I could like touch that, and just like how, I don't know, like that's why stuff like that, you know, like, and it's crazy because the original Death Becomes Her, like that was one of the first big movies to use like CG effects, and you can like, but like they look pretty good, and it's like a mix of CG and practical effects. It's super fucking dope. It's like really weird and out. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a ton of fun, great performances.
Yeah.
Like once again, it's Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, and Bruce Willis. Like,
Legends. Shout out
yeah,
Bruce
like,
Willis. Shout out Goldie
yeah,
Hawn.
yeah, man. Yeah, I hope I know Bruce Willis isn't doing great. I know he has that he's
Yeah.
I forget the disease, but it's like it's it's like it's like even worse than dementia. He's just, his brain's just gone. But
Yeah,
shout
nah,
out to Bruce.
he is. Yeah, he may not be aware of his greatness, man, but yeah, that dude is a fucking legend.
Yeah, man.
Like
Yeah,
Fifth
shout out to
Element, bro. Fifth Element, bro. One of the
yeah, nah.
one of the greatest sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Oh God, it's been so many years since I watched The Fifth Element. Like, yeah, just like
Yeah,
between like him,
Debo is president, bro.
Debo is fucking president. Let's
President
go,
Debo.
man.
And Smokey is like the leading goddamn DJ in the galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Yeah, in the
Bro.
leopard print. Oh, I love that movie,
Like,
bro.
still,
What a great
nigga has
movie.
style, bro. That movie was
Like,
stylish.
super duper stylish. Um, damn. So let's do that with music for you now. When did music become capital M music for you? Not even so much in terms of like you wanting to make it, but like when did you first become like fascinated by music?
Um, I remember like I had another VHS tape that had like Disney songs, but they were like remixed with by like other modern artists, where they had like Bare Necessities from the Jungle Book, but they had like Harry Connick Jr. singing it, and
Wait a minute,
then they had like another
I'm,
one that had like the Big Bad Wolf song, but it was by LL Cool J.
bro. Hang on a
And
second. Hang on a second. I think I had that same shit. Was it called Simply Mad About the Mouse?
yes,
Wow. Yo.
yes, my nigga. Yo,
I
we here with it,
yeah,
baby.
bro.
Yeah, nah, shoot. I remember they had that Latin band that did the Pinocchio joint.
Yeah,
I got no strings
the
to
Gypsy
hang
Kings.
me
Yeah, it was
down.
the Gypsy Kings. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that was the shit, bro. See, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yo,
that was one of my earliest memories. Like my mom had like audio recordings of me as like a very young child singing Tag Team Whoop There It Is. And she still has the cassette tape. Like she still plays it for me and shit. Like I remember fucking coming back from like one of my earliest music memories was coming back from I think like pre-K. Like and my mom was like walking me through like Penn Station Newark. and they used to have like it used to be a little bit. It used to be a lot more like popping. Like it wasn't as fucking dingy as it is. They used to have like a fucking little fancy bar that like the suits they would come to, and they would kind of just get their happy hour drink on and shit like before they
Yeah.
like got on the train or wherever. I remember walking, like my mom was walking with me, and I heard fucking crisscross jump, and I yanked my mom into that fucking bar. And I remember like being like I ran on the goddamn stage jumping up and down and like a whole bunch of like fucking people in suits and shit, like just like singing like jump, jump, jump. And like from there, I was like, yeah, yo, like I enjoy like I was an MTV kid, man. Like I was a BET kid and shit. Like I bought mixtapes, like K-Slade tapes, Street Sweepers tapes was like law for me. Goddamn, I would get like J Arms instrumental mixtapes when I was in, I want to say maybe high school, maybe like late middle school. Like that's when I really first started like rapping. It was like this the post. Like Smack DVD was already kind of like existing. I believe like 8 Mile that came out and shit. So everyone was kind of like just dabbling into it to a point where certain people annoyed the fuck out of me because they would freestyle at me. I'm like, bro, why y'all rapping at me, dog? I don't even rap. Dude, to a point, it's like, well, you got to defend yourself. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm a rap too. And then it just turned to like, oh wow, like I just fucking like won a battle. Holy shit. Like, oh wow, like somebody who possibly like if we were to like square up on the streets, they may have had a way better chance. But because like they decided to use words against me and I played along with it, I was able to fucking like get a very big victory over this person. So that was like a crazy like it was a moment for me. I was like, oh wow, like music is a tool where you could like defend yourself. Like music is a tool for you to kind of assert yourself and like establish like who you are as a person and shit. So when I started like really discovering like that like around like middle school and in like high school, that's what like yeah, yo, I think I want to kind of indulge in this more. It wasn't necessarily a business pursuit
Right.
or like trying to make projects, but it was something that I dabbled in like frequently.
So okay, how old were you when this battle happened? Because
First
that
first
sounds like
time
a
I
pivotal
remember
moment.
first time I remember battling nigga, it was probably freshman year. It was this nigga Malcolm Freeman. Like me and him used to play ball together and shit. He cool as hell. He in real estate now. Yeah, like that's my nigga. I fuck with his mom. Like we all family. Like
Let's go.
but I remember like we battled and he was a cool guy because he was on the basketball team and shit. So I was like, man, this dude's gonna try like just like punk me and talk about how like he getting more bitches and whatever, whatever. It's like, all right, how like let me just talk about how whack this nigga is in general. And I just came up like I remember like he spit some shit at me one day, and then I remember I came back the next day and he tried to do some other shit, and I was like, oh, I'm prepared today. I'm prepared. And from there, it kind of just became like it wasn't the last time me and him kind of like went at it. It wasn't the last time me and anybody went at it. Like it was just, all right, cool. Like Alan or people used to call me AJ like when I was in school and shit because like my dad is big Alan and shit. So he
Yeah.
he preserves this. He gets to keep the name. So at the time when I was AJ, it was like yo, like AJ is like yo, like he could rap. All right, cool. And then that kind of turned into like let me like figure out like this isn't just a defense mechanism when
Right.
like people try to verbally attack me. It's like you know what, like yo, like I expressed the feeling like because this person pissed me off. So now I was like, all right, like are there other feelings that I want to express? Are there other things that I want to share that I could use this ability? Can I could use these techniques with and possibly like have other people understand me more? And yeah, man, and it turned into a music thing. It helped me like meet a lot of friends and shit. Like me and Fat Boy Sharif, like we met in school, like through a love of hip hop. Like we were in a class that had nothing to do with hip hop culture, black culture at all, and we were surrounded by a lot of white people who didn't necessarily give a fuck about that shit either.
Yeah.
So we kind of were able to bond through like mixtapes because I would bring certain CDs to school. Sometimes I'll bring my little radio through, and we like just like when we would get free time in class, we would just take time in the corner and just like freestyle or just fucking like put each other on to certain things that we enjoy, and then it kind of just it helped encourage us to kind of just be the people that we are now, because you know he's making non-conventional hip-hop, I'm making non-conventional hip-hop in my own way and shit, and we were kind of able to like he was putting me on to like some of the fucking like Gore-Tex and fucking goddamn Ill Bill and stuff, and I wasn't exposed to that necessarily because I was listening to goddamn like late night street sweepers tape clue shit, and then like certain college radio stuff that was like playing like Murs. So I would bring him like Murs, but I would also like we would talk about like Papoose. We would talk about fucking Side God and shit. But we could sit there and also like discuss fucking like Brother Ali and shit. And like I was like, yo, did you hear about Pigeon John? Have you heard of him? And then you know.
Yeah, man. Finding your tribe like at that point, especially when you're like in classes and in school or whatever with like a bunch of people, like, you know, like whether they I mean like like when you're around a bunch of white people who have no idea what you're talking about generally, and just like finding your people, like that's like, like I had a like I had a similar group of friends, and most of that group was just like a bunch of like nerdy black kids who were into like comics and rap and games and shit. And like we would just be putting each other on to all different types of music and anime and manga and games, and just like, like no matter, I mean, like I was one of those kids who could kind of go like not necessarily go anywhere and do anything, but like I was able to just kind of like move where I needed to move somehow. I don't know how I did it, but I was a fucking nerd and I knew it. But like they were always my base, and to this day, like most of them are still my base. Like most of those are still my brothers to this day. So I'm just like really happy to have that, and to like know that y'all two had that, like being able to confide in each other and just like put each other on and help each other develop. And like even before all the rap shit happened with the both of y'all, and like obviously shout
Yeah, I'm
out
sorry.
to
Yeah,
Reef.
this is like years before he put out a project. Years before I even put out a project.
Right. I was just with Reef on fucking Monday. Like we saw Blink twice and Strange Darling. But yeah. Anyway.
I've heard his reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we both thought Blink twice was just okay, and we thought Strange Darling was great. Those were but
at least you're on the same page about it.
Yeah, no, we're not always on the same page about shit.
Yeah,
So
shit, few are with him. So
yeah, he's something else, bro. Like that's man. I feel like I said this before, but anybody who gets the chance, like go see a movie with Sharif.
Please do. I
also,
totally recommend it.
Okay. I gotta ask, does he fall asleep in the movies with you all the time?
Sometimes. Thing is, yo, it'd be funny because he'll do it during movies that he'll recommend. Like he'll like, yo, because like he'll come over to the crib and like we'll throw a movie on the projector and shit, and we'll start watching it. And it's like, yo, bro, you ain't even here to watch fucking Man Bites Dog. He's like, I seen it, but yo, come on, I'm watching it. I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah, son. Yeah, no. It was around the time the three of us saw Alien earlier in the summer.
Was he not in?
No, I'm not during Alien. It was during this other movie called Oddity. He he fell asleep, and I had to keep waking him up because somebody came and told him to shut the fuck up snoring. It was crazy. This shit was crazy, man. It was a wild time. He's a wild boy. Shout out to Reef. Shout out to Reef. But I don't. Yeah, it was
because right now, like I'm in the room right now where he will be sitting across from me, and I can see him like nodding off. Like I can see him now, like, just doing that. So yeah,
that's hilarious, son. Oh my god! Before we move on to you making music proper, you brought up K-Slay Street Sweepers tapes a bunch. I gotta ask, what's your favorite Street Sweepers tape? because I know my favorite Street Sweepers tape.
Oh man, shoot, for me, it's gonna be. There's one that has fucking goddamn Saigon. Like he debuts like the letter P on it with Coogee Rap. Like and
Uh-huh.
that and there's a lot of other records on it that I thought were flawless on there. But he has a tape with Papoose as usual. Bootlegger's Nightmare is like one of my favorite Street
Mm-hmm.
Sweepers Papoose tapes because it has this collab with Papoose and Paul Wall, and Paul Wall's like rapping double time on that shit, and it's always
Mm,
Papoose, and you don't really get to hear like Papoose like getting a double time flow, nonetheless Paul Wall.
right.
So and there's a couple other records on there. Like I think it's a Remy Ma record. It's like one of their first records together before
Mm-hmm.
the Love Connection. So yeah, man.
Damn.
Is there a particular Street Sweeper tape that you fucking with?
So my favorite one has to be Street Sweepers 3. It's the one
Oh,
that starts out. It starts out with it starts out with 8 Ball from 8 Ball and MJG. He
yeah,
does his verse. He does his verse from Pimps from Coming Out Hard. I don't know. To this day, I don't know who made the beat. I have the YouTube video and I listen. Like I'll listen to like the first 2.5 minutes of the tape because
yeah.
it's literally the intro track and it's just him talking about like I think he says like rest in peace to Big Pun near the end. I think it's like right around the time Big Pun passed away,
Oh wow.
and like shit is so fucking crazy.
No,
Like
me and
yeah.
Fat Boy gonna dig for that shit. We gonna end up finding it, man. We was in speaking of fucking mixtapes, we was in Houston recently. Like me, Fat Boy, Kohai, and DJ Boogavelli,
Shout out to
and
the strangers.
our
Yeah.
strangers. Like we end up checking out like a DJ Screw store and shit, and we were going through like if you get a chance to go to Houston, man, check out like Screwed Up tapes.
Oh,
Like fucking there's like binders upon binders of volumes of screw tapes that you could purchase and shit from his beginning, his origins, like up
yo.
until his passing and shit.
So
And they have them all of like readily available for the most part.
how much are they charging for those? Because like
No,
I want to go to
it was
Houston.
reasonable. It was like it's what you expect for like a screw tape. It ain't no more than fucking I think like 15.
Cool.
Like they might have got that shit, and they got some obscure like people may not know like Screw was fucking touching like Eminem records and shit, or Screw was like touching even more obscure shit for what they would deem a southern DJ to be touching and shit.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
DJ Screw had an appreciation for like hip hop as a like freaking damn worldwide, man. Like, cause like I remember seeing like some non-American shit in that mix too. So yeah, man.
That's everything.
Shout out to mixtapes, shout out to DJ Green Lantern. I used to cop them Green Lantern tapes out.
Uh-huh.
DJ Big Mike. I used to cop them fucking Big Boy Game and shit. I used to cop them Big Boy Game tapes and shit. Fucking,
Shout
J
out to
Arms.
yep, J Arm. Shout out to Drama. Shout out
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure. I had
you
the
you,
fucking
you
I had the Pharrell, the In My Mind prequel. I had the physical of that shit. It
man.
used to fold out. It was like hella bait. There's like whole catalog in that fucking shit. That shit was ill.
Man, yeah, that's if you still got that, that's a collector's item. Cause like
Man,
that's
man, when I moved, all that shit is gone, unfortunately. I wish I still had that shit. I used to
damn.
have, oh god. Like I be terrible. Like I be having collectible shit and just not appreciating shit. Which is why I be telling people like, yo, don't buy me shit, dog. Don't buy me shit, because I ain't gonna recognize what it is until I already fuck it up.
Right. It's so funny because I was just re-listening to I don't want to get too far off track, but I was just re-listening to what drama tape was it was Little Brother Separate but Equal because
Mm,
I ran out to go see my man Holland. Shout out to Holland. I love you,
sorry.
Holland. He was at he was showing the Little Brother documentary somewhere in Harlem, and on my way back from there, I was just bumping Separate but Equal the whole time. And yeah, nah, shout out to Drama. Shout out to Gangsta Grills. That was those a lot of those tapes like a Trap or Die shit
Yep.
and you're like Wayne's dedications and
Yes.
I don't know, man. Mixtape culture is something else. It was like like at that time, like between Screw and I mean like Clue, Lantern, Drama are like all kind of sort of different eras, but like not really. It was and
I
K
know what you
Slay,
mean.
obviously. Like it was just,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Mixtape culture is something else. I found I found I think it was it's either a Clue tape or a Green Lantern tape or a K Slay tape, but it has a song. It's got multiple songs by Budden, and they call him Joe Buttons on the fucking track list with the
It's
S on the
probably
end.
honestly, I think it's probably Clue because I remember I could hear like Clue going Joe Buttons.
Because I found it there was like some random thrift store out here on the island, and I was just going through the CDs and I see this and I look at it. It's got some basketball player. It's got Meta World Peace on it. It's a Meta World
What?
Peace tape. So like so I think it might have been Clue, and it definitely had Meta World Peace on it, and it was definitely Joe Buttons on a bunch of those tracks. Crazy shit.
Oh,
It's at home in Jersey. I can't grab it right now, but good times.
shout out Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, True Warrior.
Yeah, it was Ron. Yeah. It was when he was Ron Artest, because yeah, he hadn't become Meta World Peace yet. But damn, wow. Okay, so when did you? So like you do battles, y'all start to like y'all start to continue to expand your musical palette and all this good shit. When
Yeah.
did you know that music was going to become more than just a hobby for you?
Um, when I graduated in like '07, I went to Japan and it's like I kind of like just buy like I was like I wasn't ready for college. I didn't really think that was something that was like good for me. Like in terms of like it wasn't gonna give me it wasn't like a clear idea. Like it felt like college was just something to do, and I didn't want to like take my parents' money or take the government's money that my parents would owe just to like
Right.
just for something to do. So if I was gonna do something, I was gonna do something that was like for me. My uncle, he was a lounge singer in Japan. Like he still
Wow.
is. He owned like a club in Sapporo. So if you're out in Sapporo, check out Billy King. And they be doing annual Christmas shows and shit while he's still alive, man. Go check that nigga out. He's dope. Uh, and I was trying to figure out, like, I had like a couple like demos. Like I hadn't really had a project or anything of that, but I had like some rough drafts, and I decided to like take some of the money from like my first job. I was working at ShopRite, and I was like kind of just saving money like while I was in high school, and my parents kind of helped me out, and I ended up like living out in Japan for like maybe I would say 3 months, maybe like a season out there, and I kind of just kind of shadowed him for a lot of the time, like just seeing like him like doing like 2 clubs a night, like seeing like the preparation that he puts into to his stage show, whether it's a small gig or a large gig. Like he was kind of introducing me to DJs. I kind of did like a couple like my first shows out there before I even did stuff in like the States. And it was a cool way for me to kind of just figure out do I want to do this? Is this interesting enough for me like to want to pursue without like my friends around? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes like some people get into shit because it's like it's the homies, and then like when the homies ain't doing it no more, the also like you want to quit putting in the work too. So
Yeah.
like being in Japan, I didn't really have like none of my friends around. Like I didn't really have like I didn't have Fat Boy. I didn't have like my the people I went to school with and shit. So but I still kind of like was able to kind of find joy in the shit, like more than I did other things or the things that people wanted me to do in my life. So when I
Right.
got back to the States, fucking I was working on my first tape. Fat Boy was doing like he was posting a lot of like YouTube links to other like dope music and shit. Cause like I'm sure like you know how Fat Boy like he's always down to kind of just showcase like his hip hop knowledge, and so he'll post links to records and stuff to a point where at the time it was like flooding my feed and I couldn't see anything else on my timeline, and
Right.
I had to kind of like call him up like, yo, can you chill with like all these fucking like these rap posts? Like you need to find a way to like get this into uh like just a more like playlisted or something. And during that time, like I pitched him the idea of a podcast, and we kind of like spitball like like how it could work. And from there, me and him started doing Strangers with Hip Hop in like 2000 and I want to say 2008, 2009. And we went to like Keene University Radio with a demo from the podcast. After a couple episodes, it did good. Keene University liked it. They put us on the air at WKNJ. And from like it kind of just started snowballing, like where we were kind of put in positions where we were meeting certain artists that we admired, like kind of were interested in working with us as individuals and as a collective. I kind of went through a little bit of a slight health scare that made me like kind of step away from the radio show. Fatboy kind of kept it going for a little bit longer, and that kind of helped him like further his network, which led him to a lot of the things that he was doing with Fatboy Sharif when we got into, I want to say, 8 Twin and like freaking some of like the 732 Eve. A lot of his earlier, it's like the pre-Gandhi shit. But it was but you could see where he was getting there. He just had to like kind of get with the right like production team and like the right like that, like everything that he is now, he was then, man. Like he's just like kind of just sharpening and kind of getting around like just a tighter ship. The ship is only just getting tighter for him, so things are just like sounding better. But he like Fatboy now, he was that in high school and shit, but he started finding his way. And as for me, I was kind of just going through like just the New Jersey performance circuit, and I started like I was organizing certain events too. That kind of kept me like, that gave me like the energy to do like what I'm doing, when like me being so hands-on with the listening party, with the release party and stuff, with the presentation with that. And like that passion kind of came from me kind of like feeling it out on my own. And me and Fatboy kind of like ended up reconvening maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit like during the lockdown years, because we were talking about like just bringing some of the old archive clips back, like because he had like a lot of like the old show episodes like saved on a drive. Newtown Radio had presented something to us, shout Marvelito, and it was like, yo, do you want to get back together and like let's do like this Strangers thing? He had Bugavelli, I had Kohai as my DJ, like on our own separate journeys, and then we kind of all like got back together. And yeah, man, well, like what was then is what is now. Like Strangers was really like the time that really kind of like, yeah, man, even if I'm not an artist, I could contribute as a vessel in terms of like helping artists amplify their voices and shit,
Right.
or help amplify the agendas that I see fit, or that are necessary for the preservation of fucking hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And whatever is going on in my fucking crazy head. You know what I mean? I could sit there and organize events. I could like help like put together things. Like I don't just have to be like the fucking star of this shit. And from there, seeing that I didn't just care about my role, I cared about like just what was, like I had no problem being a cog in this machine.
Right.
The other machines was like, yeah, like this machine doesn't benefit me at all. I don't really give a fuck about this machine. But hip
Yeah.
hop and like kind of like just black art was a machine. And I was like, well, you know what, yo, like if I could help kind of like steer this shit, or if I could help play a role in the steering of this in some way, like if I'm, it's like Power Rangers, man. Like, you know what, yo, if I'm controlling the arm, all right, cool. I got the arm Zord, whatever, bro. Like if I got the legs, or this is my motherfucking leg, we gonna make this leg move a certain way and shit. And
Yeah, nah.
that made me really like say like I want to be here.
Yeah, just like kind of feeding into something that's greater than yourself, and just not,
Absolutely.
like not skirting that. And like I think there's no better encapsulation of all the love and rage and sadness and all the silly circumstances than this 3-part project, The Worst of My 20s, that you dropped in 2021. That like, like it isn't like a 1-for-1 retelling of all the things that happened, but
Yeah,
it's just like, like a lot of your music, it's just really kaleidoscopic. Every song sounds different. You're pulling from different genres, you're pulling from different, like you're going through all of this stuff where you're kind of pouring into other people and other ventures and into the culture as much as you're pouring into yourself.
yeah.
So I mean, like, walk me excuse me, walk me through, like, like, what was, like, you called each of these three worst of my 20s projects like the Young Goku 89 Chronicles, which made
Yeah.
me laugh when I first read it. So, like, what was so frenetic and challenging about that time that it inspired you to kind of make it into these three projects? I
Well,
need to know.
during that time, we were kind of getting that real changing of eras, like where I was raised in the mixtape era, and then all of a sudden I'm entering into like a internet era, and it's kind of like a new frontier, and it was a new frontier for a lot of people like that were my age, that were kind of just feeling their way through like just what is the DIY scene now. Like there's new money coming in, but not all the money is good. We got these new characters that are coming out of nowhere, and they're like leapfrogging people who've been like already like kind of what we perceived as veterans at some point.
Right.
And we're dealing with that, like we're dealing with like a lot of us are being called into like positions where, oh shit, like I just graduated high school and now I'm in charge of like putting together shit. Like now I'm a team lead. Like this ain't no regular job shit. Like it's not like this isn't fucking like Kmart and stuff. Like we feel a little bit more of a more responsibility. As much as like we should feel responsible at our fucking jobs and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
like the role that we were kind of like thrust into, we didn't really quite understand it. And I look at like we kind of took it for granted and shit, because there was like the shit was in disarray. Like like as fun as it was, like in like I would say like the 2010s and shit, it was very like disjointed. Like it was a free for all and shit.
Yeah.
And
Really, really Wild West type shit for sure.
yeah, yo, absolutely. And then especially like when you get toward the tail end, and with the collapse of the goddamn blogs and shit, like everything that kind of followed that, like it got even worse. But yeah, man, like I think the worst of my 20s, it captures the optimism that had existed when you're going into something new for the first time. There was a lot of first that were put into like that project, within like a lot of feelings. There are a lot of fucking frustrations that I could look back and at that project, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm glad it got better. I'm glad we were able to kind of overcome this shit, but it's something that I'm glad we were able to capture, like these like just so everyone else, when they go through that same shit, or they start to go through, whether it's the artist shit or like the real like civilian life shit that we may address, is like, hey man, like someone else has lived this shit and they told the tale because they survived it, and you will as well.
Right. If Beyonce taught me anything,
Yeah, man. You also tell me
like
anything, bro. Yeah, no, and also it captures a lot of energy from past relationships. Like, man, because the person that song is about fucking hates my guts.
oh man. But yeah, like there was something, like just like being able to go through those projects and really sit with those for a minute. Like that's like, yeah, like there's so much joy, so much pain, so much sadness, and so much like it really, like I feel like a lot of people like to think that their projects encapsulate like the entire experience of a thing, and like this is one of those that captures the entire experience of a thing, just
Yeah,
kind of like told in three parts. And to have that be one of like the earliest things that you put the 89 the Brainchild thing on,
yeah,
and to have that kind of be like your starting point, as like at this point you've been to Japan, you performed out there, and
yeah,
like you really like you kind of like you you told yourself that this is what you want to do. Like you knew that even if the homies weren't around, like this makes you feel good. It makes you
Yes.
feel safe. It makes you feel heard, fulfilled, all that shit. So, like you kind of go through and do all this, make this project, like drop a handful of others here and there.
Yep.
And, like further into the 2020s, Night Lives starts to come together,
Yep.
and it starts to come together. Well, like it comes together and Get a Bag happens.
Yeah.
And like Get a Bag has been like the lodestar of this whole project.
Mhm.
Like you promoted the shit out of it for so long. You got fucking like it's just like, I guess kind of like walk me through the early making of this project and why you decided Get a Bag was the lodestar for it. Like why was that the thing you wanted to lead with?
I think Get a Bag. Initially, I was working with Marvelito, like coming out of the lockdowns. I got introduced to him through like Ta. Shout out to Ta, NJ Club
Mm-hmm.
DJ, one of the OGs out here,
You're
one of the new young OGs out here. And but he connected with Marvelito. Marvelito was working heavily with like Detroit and specifically Dream Beach and Raffy.
Shout out to
Um,
Raffy
yeah,
Cruisers.
no big ups for much love. Um, and I had gotten a pack from Dream Beach because I think like Dream Beach had come through, visited like New York. We hit it off. It was like it was a very cool energy and shit. Much love to Dream Beach and shit. Like that's the homie. And
Shout out.
he sent me a pack of some beats. And one of those happened to be the one that he did with Raffy that became Get a Bag. It was it wasn't the easiest uh song to tackle initially. When I first heard the beat, I didn't really know how to like some people like they automatically get like a certain rhythm and shit, and they just get into a groove. Like I seen it happen with a number of different artists and shit. Some of whom my friends, they could just do it instantly. But I sat with the beat for a while, and I just kept hearing like a refrain like let's keep coming back to a certain theme like what does this feel like, and like Get a Bag, the beat felt like dark urgency. It felt like dark urgency.
Yeah.
And I think it was like winter time when I was like going through the record and shit, and I think I wasn't making as much money as I needed to at a certain point, and then I was like, man, like I'm feeling it right now. Like, what the fuck is going on? Man? I gotta get some bread. Gotta get a bag, bro. And then it just kind of just became like, yeah, all right, I gotta get a bag. All right, like what are the things that are going on where you have to get a bag, and it wasn't necessarily meant to be about like dark. There was or even like light or like good or bad. It was like, yo, these are the things, and throughout all these constants in life, you still gotta get a bag. So
Yeah.
whether you need a job or you just had a child or you just went viral or you just came out to your father or
Yeah.
fucking goddamn or you're faking injuries at work or freaking like you just realize how much rent is in Brooklyn, like whether you crash another whip, whether fucking like it doesn't matter. Like no matter what, like death and taxes.
Yeah. Every time, bro. And like, yeah, it's like Get a Bag is so interesting to me because it's like the beat sounds kind of dark and the
Yeah.
refrain is kind of like droning and like that kind of like robotic, like get a bag kind of way. But like,
Mm-hmm.
like the song, like every little bit of writing, like once again, it can be really funny when it needs to be.
Yes.
It'll be like dead serious like once or twice. But for the most part, it's like a pretty funny kind of like tongue in cheek, like this is where I'm at, like fuck it, I gotta go do this anyway type shit. And like that's what makes it, like that and the refrain makes it like really easy to just like stick with it and just listen and just get a bag. I don't know. Like it was fun. It was fun for me to see that be like the lead single for this project that,
Yeah.
once again turns out to be this kind of like, you know, varied kaleidoscopic journey through what we all know in the New York and New Jersey like indie rap scene, or not even just indie rap, but just like independent music generally. You know,
Yeah,
like you know, like you're jumping through so many different kinds of music, and it really does feel like it feels like a trip from Jersey on the path to the heart of Brooklyn and back again, and just like all the love, pain, hate, and drug fueled crazy diversions that takes up.
yeah.
Like,
Like, fucking Fat Boy said when he heard Get a Bag, like it kind of reminded him of a Henry Rollins record.
I can
And
see that.
then
Yeah.
there was a point where someone else like sat with me and heard the record, and they brought up like Chris Rock, No Sex in the Champagne Room. And I was like, the fact that like these I feel like, yeah, we're onto something with this record then.
So like why like that, you know, like that's the general concept of night lives.
Yeah.
So like what, you know, like why was it so important for you to highlight all of these different sounds and all these different feelings on this project that, you know, like this is like this is like a you're putting it out as a tape, but I think this is, I mean, this is most people's introduction to you as like
Or
a full project artist. So like, why was it so important for you to kind of condense as much of this crazy, hectic, you know, like you said earlier, political and just like fun scene into this project as possible? Like, why was it important for you that this project encapsulates all of that stuff?
I never want to feel like two-dimensional. I don't want it to be too one-sided and shit. Like I didn't want to make LMFAO party rock and shit. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I fuck with party rock, bro. I fuck with
Yes.
LMFAO.
It's a good ass
Yes.
song.
Yo, fuck it. Yes was my shit. Cole, I just came in the room. Yes was my shit. Every day I see my dreams. Every day I see my Cole, I just want to say hi.
Yes is
What's
also
up,
my shit.
Kohai?
Yes is also my shit.
See, Cole, I like yes too. See, he knows what I'm
What's
talking
up?
about, bro. MySpace boys forever. Um, nah, but we didn't want to be I didn't want to be one-sided. Like I come from like I felt like it would be a disservice to like the people around me that I cared about and I supported and shit. Cause like I go show love to like the NJ Club events when I go see Ty, when I would go see Unique early on in her career. Like we would like some of those shows we were on the same lineups and shit. But in the same light, like we were fucking with a lot like the noise acts that were coming out of the New York area. Hell, like fucking like Fatboy Sharif has a whole litany of acts that yo, they all attest that yo, 89 the Brainchild has as like is my friend because like I've come to these events, I've bonded with these people at Trans Pecos, at fucking goddamn like Market Hotel and seen some of these acts and shit. And you know, like I'm like and we still going to the fucking to the polo show. We still going to the polo rap shows and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we're still going to like the quote unquote traditional stuff. And I'm still going to hell, like I may be going to check out Swami like tonight at Misa and shit. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna get into some jungle shit. So like for me, like I all that is me. I didn't want to sit there and give like just here, take this bit of me, and then later on when I decide to reveal the rest, you're like, what the fuck is that? Ugh. It's like you know what? If you don't like me now, you're not gonna like me because right now everything I'm giving you is like everything that I am. Like these sounds, and you know it gets more expansive, but I just want to just really show that like what this nightlife is isn't just limited to what one individual may just get in their algorithm.
right.
It's like it's noise music, it's jungle shit, it's drum and bass, it's fucking jazz shit. Like yo, like there's like mother, you can go check out the Blue Note. The Blue Note is still Blue Note be cracking it. Like that's some
Yeah,
nightlife shit too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that
That's
should be
nightlife
popping
shit
for sure.
too. Like yo, you want to go see Kamasi Washington or something? Yo, like that, like that's a night out. like all this energy, bro. Like nightlife isn't just like fucking coke parties and shit. Nightlife isn't just fucking like going to the strip club. Nightlife isn't just like fucking like watching the game at the bar and just like drinking till post game and shit. Like it's all of that shit. So like, especially like me being from Jersey, like it's a like, you know, man, like there's a bar culture and shit out here, man.
Yeah, that's
So
easy.
so
Easy.
so so for me, like I still kind of like want to speak to that as an MC and shit. And while also like, you know what, there's certain sonics and shit that are underserviced or underserved out here and shit. Like there's certain styles of music that we don't get as often as we would when we go to like just like we get off at one train stop. There's several fucking venues and shit, and they're all giving you so many different options of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And those things aren't offered. So for me with this tape, like being someone who has the privilege to expose myself to that and be exposed to that shit, it's like, yo, it's only fair that I share my findings with y'all. Like, you know what? I'm finding like, you know, we're gonna do NJ Club shit because that's who I am. But you know what? I'm gonna take this fucking slow down Cisco sample and shit, and we're gonna throw that over there. And then you know what? We're gonna rap in a style that like you may not be accustomed to over a NJ Club drum pattern and shit, because
yeah,
like that piece of me comes from this side, and then I'm like blending all these styles and shit because like these are all this is up here, like all this is in my head.
yeah. And
So I
you're
I can't help it.
yeah, like this is like this is you. And like I really, like re-listening to the project, I love how it's just you, like it's just you in the middle of all of this. Like you're not necessarily the main character of it. Like
Word.
you're just kind of like the vessel that it all flows through, which isn't the same as being like the center of it. Like like it really does feel like a mixtape in that sense, and I appreciate you selling it as a tape, because it does feel like a tape in the sense that like there's a theme, kinda,
Yeah.
but like it's all like it's just made up of all these things that we're, like you said, we're all fortunate and privileged enough to be in the middle of. Like you already said all the things. I'm not going to repeat them, but just like I don't know, it just makes me happy to be able to hear you go from talking about disappointing Pimp C
Yeah.
and being very loving to a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons, and then to jump into like a posse cut talking about shit at like Misa Board Cafe, which like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like as somebody who's from the area and like it like lives in Jersey and is in New York all the time, like I of course get all the references and I know like
Yeah.
the places you're talking about. But like I can imagine that even if I wasn't, like you kind of bring, like you and like Boog and Sharif host the tape, and like like the three of y'all bring it alive so well that I can imagine somebody who lives like either on like another side of the country or even like somebody in Japan on the other side of the world being
Word.
like, I want to go see that. Like, like you
Yes.
brought this to life. I want to be able to see what all of this looks and feels and sounds and tastes like. Like I want to
Yeah.
I want to like I want to go to Myrtle Broadway and
Yeah, yo,
see
like
see
that's what the
like
rappers, that's what the MCs before us kind of did. Like they were kind of like our tour guides through certain places and certain scenes that we may not ever been exposed to. I listen to certain like West Coast artists talk about their experience in the West. Like it either encouraged me to sit there and maybe like check it out or avoid certain shit. But
yeah,
either way, it was like, you know what? I'm kind of enlightened, and now I get to know something about you as an artist as well as like the environment that helped like create you and shit. And for
yeah,
me, it's like it's the same thing. Like I want y'all to like get to understand, like, yeah, like I'm telling y'all certain things about myself and some of my interests and things of that nature, introduce you to certain things. But yeah, like these places that I'm mentioning, these things that I'm referencing, like yo, like these are kind of like I'm planting a flag there, and I want y'all to see like this is like these are the beacons. Like you're like
yeah,
come see what this is about.
yeah. And it makes me happy that you did that. It makes me happy that you did that, and like Dove saw it and was like, I want to put this on a label. I want to give it like a proper release and give it some physicals. Like, I don't know, like, like the fact that this is kind of like, not kind of, this is this is like your big, like, hey, this is me as an artist, like that, like, like this feels like a, like it feels like a debut in the sense of like, this is who I am, and this is the place, not even just the place that raised me, but the place that like I continue to come to, and just like funnels all this shit into the person that as 89.
Word.
And it makes me happy. Yeah, it just makes me happy to see it come out the way it did, and to see people respond to it, and like even just like being at your, like being at the release and seeing everybody DJing in the train at the art installation, and like having the fucking honor to come and like co-host your fucking listening party, like
Thank
in
you.
Jersey, in Newark. And yeah, thank you. What the fuck? Like just like being like in the thick of it in Newark, just like
Yeah, man.
walking around, just like,
No,
like
and
that night
it's all
was
significant. It all means something to me.
right. Like that night was so special to me, because there were so many different kinds of music listeners in the room, and so many different kinds of music were being played. Like rap was being played, jungle was being played, Jersey Club was being played, and
Yeah.
people were dancing to Jersey Club the way that people in Jersey dance to Jersey Club. Like what's it called?
Yes.
Desiree was with me that night, and
Word.
I had to like explain, like I had to be like, this is what people do when club music comes on. This is what it is. This is
This
how
how it's
people
supposed to
dance.
be. Yeah.
So like just everybody in, like the vibes of that night very much reflected the vibes of the project. And it made me really happy to see not only just like Jersey get to be in the house in that way that night, but to see people come from New York just to pop out for that shit and like
Yeah,
see
no,
it,
that was a blessing.
like in its natural habitat. I don't know. Like it just makes me happy that it makes me happy to see it kind of expand in that way. And so like, and I'm realizing that we're like over an hour into this, and I haven't mentioned that there's a bonus track on this album named after me, which like,
Yes.
thanks for that. Like that
Yeah,
shit is fucking,
man. You
that's that
man,
shit is still crazy. Like,
you a crusader, man. You a crusader, dog. So I gotta represent.
man, I'm just a vessel for all this shit. So like that's the first time that's ever happened. So I was like, you told me you were gonna do it, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then you sent me the picture and the link, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I guess
Yeah,
this is really happening and shit. But
yeah,
like,
it's a real record. Check that cassette out. They got the bonus track.
yeah, please. Yeah, like I'm gonna put links like I always do, but like please go buy it. And yeah, I'm not saying that just because I'm on the shit. Like please go, like, or like I'm not on it, but I have a song. Go buy this album. Support like real authentic Jersey shit. Support shit that like is made with heart and passion and talent and
Yes.
fucking, like community involved. Like just like go support the good shit, man. Please. Like that's what we're here for. That's why this shit matters.
Word
Like,
up.
damn. Like I
Shout out everybody on the tape, man. Much respect to all
yeah.
the contributors.
And there's hella people on this fucking tape. Producers and rappers and singers and DJs. Like just
The
please go.
family.
Yeah, man. Like go share that love. And like as somebody who's like had the privilege and the pleasure to be able to kind of be involved in New York and New Jersey music scenes for the last handful of years, like this really is an encapsulation of all of that stuff. Like as somebody who's lived it, like I see it and I hear it and I feel it in this album. And it makes me happy that we gotten the chance to like really talk about it, and that people can hear it. And like, I don't know, man, like it's just cool as hell. Like it's a fun, yeah. I'm rambling at this point. The shit's
Nah,
dope.
I love.
Thank you for it. Like thank you for putting it together, honestly. I know it
Yo,
took a minute, but I'm happy you did it.
not true. I'm thankful for everyone supporting it. Keep sharing it, man. Like we
Yeah.
got more music coming. We got more videos coming. We're gonna do a guess to send me some more video. Like that's coming. We're trying
Let's
to get
go.
everyone's schedule straight. And Shoot, it seems like we might probably do a all my ops want this video, like all my ops want this dick video first.
Let's
So,
go.
so we're probably gonna get that shot like before we do the posse cut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can look out for probably those 2 records within like the next month or so. We're gonna do another release of the no DJ version, which
Yeah.
will be on digital because
Yep.
you know like if you go on DSPs, you're only gonna get the DJ version and none of the bonus tracks. But we're gonna release that DJ version with a couple other extras, trying to get some features locked down for that. I got some special producers on that shit. Like I gotta, yeah, man.
Let's go, bro. Oh
Keep
man,
an eye out
like
for that.
this is another conversation that could go for like another 3 hours. But 89. If your life was a movie, I almost feel weird asking this question. Like, if your life was a movie, what would it be about? Because like, if your life was a movie, I feel like it would just be night lives.
Yeah,
But I don't.
yeah,
But,
it might just be.
like,
Yeah, no, dude. That and that's a whole nother conversation.
right.
Uh,
Like,
we're
yeah. No.
working on
I
it.
just what happened?
We're figuring that out.
What
We're
the movie?
figuring out like
Movie?
a way to kind of like make this a cinema, like make this a short film.
I can see. I like. And once again, no gas, no bullshit. Like like it feels like a short film, or maybe even like a. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's like something about it that feels very like it really does feel like a season of television, like condensed into like a 35-minute album. Like there's like a lot of
Gee.
movement, and I don't know, man. Like I
Nah,
see it.
nah, nah,
I see the vision. I
no, no,
truly
no.
see the vision.
We on the same page here. We're definitely on the
Right.
same page with it. Yeah, man.
Damn. Yeah, bro. Thank you. Like, I
Okay,
don't know.
is
Like,
this the wrap up?
yeah, this is the wrap up, bro.
Oh shit, shoot. All right, do we have to wrap around? Do we have to wrap it right now? Because I got a couple quick fucking. I'm gonna say some quick like cinema shit.
Come on. Let's
All
go.
right,
Let's do it. Let's do
all
it.
right. We're gonna go back to Purple Rain. Yo, as much as like I love Purple Rain, if you watch it, like who's the antagonist of that movie? Like honestly, it's kind of Prince. Like
Yeah.
Morris Day is a good guy. Morris Day is trying to save that goddamn man's club. Morris Day is sick of Prince's shit and the dysfunction with the band that like it's supposed to be held under wraps, which would have ruined the fucking club because they would have been without a band once the fucking goddamn revolution imploded, which they would
Right.
have eventually if not for the pressure put on by Morris Day in the first place. But man, Morris Day, he was a decent dude aside from like getting that bitch thrown in the trash. But hey, yo, Prince slapped his bitch up like twice in that movie.
Prince
So
was Pr-
who's really the bad guy?
Prince was definitely a villain, and he was his own worst enemy in that movie. Fuck that
Right.
shit.
Really? Yeah, like we can't like Prince was trying to like force himself on Apollonia like, outside on that train shit. Like
Right,
when he drove
man.
to the train, yo, all Moore's Day did was fucking pelvic thrust and do that goofy ass laugh. Like who's really the sack of shit here, man? I'm just saying.
Unreliable
You
narrator
give
type
that
shit.
nigga a guitar, he sits there and slaps you across 3 walls and shit.
Man.
He did that shit.
Yeah,
So,
he
you
did.
know, watch that movie. Shout out Sinead O'Connor. Prince was the bad guy in that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. No, they don't know about the Sinead O'Connor
Yeah,
story.
they don't know. They don't
He was
know.
he
RIP,
was
RIP all the parties though. Fucking and also, yo, we talked about Family Matters. Yo, y'all motherfuckers that seen the 2-part episode of Family Matters when Urkel goes to goddamn Disney World for the goddamn science convention. Bruh, everyone on Family Matters except for Myra is a sack of shit.
yeah,
They're all complicit in fucking goddamn breaking Myra's heart. They're all
yeah.
assholes. Watch that shit. And
And
Stefan's a dickhead. He don't respect Steve.
you know what's crazy? Urkel's also kind of a Urkel's like a stalker and a dickhead in his own right too. Like on
They
some
got a
shit.
whole girlfriend, bro. It was still at the Winslow's crib and shit, crushing.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Family Matters ended Urkel got like a job at NASA or some crazy shit, right?
Yeah,
Like, isn't that how the show ended? Like,
I believe it did. And that shit ended on CBS.
yeah,
Fucking piece of shit.
yeah. That
I
whole
had
that
to get that off my chest.
the Winslows and Urkel were on some. I don't know, man. Like going
Yeah,
I'm no expert, but the stuff I remember about the Winslows and Family Matters, I'm like, these
bruh.
people are kind of horrible.
The Winslows were, yo, they be hating on Urkel, but Urkel be the whole reason niggas is watching the Winslows.
Yeah.
So
See,
it's a
I
whole
don't.
bunch of it's a whole bunch of that's a whole ungrateful family, and Urkel's a whole ungrateful nigga because Myra was smart as fuck, and she was fine, and she fucked with Urkel. Laura ain't fuck with you, bruh. Jaleel White, you a sucker, dog.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have signed off on that shit.
Yeah. Also, I don't. There was a period of time where I really enjoyed Key and Peele. This time is not that time, but one of the sketches that holds up really well is the one where it's like Jordan Peele is he's the actor who plays Carl Winslow, and
Mm,
Keegan Michael Key is like the executive at the studio, and like of course the guy who plays Carl Winslow is like upset about the fact that Urkel's the star, and like
yeah,
every time it's like some bullshit. And then they had Tyler James Williams play Jaleel White as Steve Urkel, and he winds up killing the executive, and fucking
right,
bro's like, oh, could have just been so simple. Just say your lines and take the money. And just like him just like wanting to kill Steve Urkel. Yeah, like that's what was happening at Family Matters. Like
yo,
not really, but like it might
yeah,
as well have been.
they were going through an artistic dilemma. They
Yeah.
were going through real artistic dilemmas, especially Reginald Bell Johnson, bro. That nigga was in Die Hard with Bruce Willis.
Reginald
Bring it
Vell
back to Bruce
Johnson, that's
Willis.
his name.
We bringing it back to Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Niggas was in Die Hard.
Yeah, he was also in Richard III. He did
Really?
Richard III at one point. Reginald Vell Johnson. Yeah. He was on some. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, Reginald Vell
I
Johnson's an
saw a
icon.
picture from an episode of Tales from the Crypt that he's in with Layla Rashawn. This nigga had like a full like a beard. He had like a young Rick Ross beard. Like this nigga look fly as hell. I didn't know Reginald Johnson could like grow hair and shit. That shit was wild.
Yeah, shout out to Reginald Vell Johnson. That's a fucking. I don't know if he's still alive, but that's a fucking icon right there.
I feel like he's still alive, bro. I feel like he's still alive. If you're still out there, yo, shoot us a line. If not,
yeah, please.
we gonna shoot you some prayers.
Yeah, no, hit my jack, because shout out. But 89, bro, thank you so much. This was crazy, man. What a time. Like it's like I said, man, it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be running through these streets with y'all and just watching, just like being able to see shows and just like create memories and kind of, like play a very small part in having this project come to life. And just, I don't know, like I'm like, obviously I'm a fan, but let's just like, thanks for being solid, and just like Jersey legends represent and see. We see it all. So thank you, bro.
Yo, thank you for your continued support, man. Like sincerely, man. For real, I appreciate it.
Nah, man, it's the absolute least I could do. I'm just happy to be here. Like thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the Black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.